Yesterday during my woods runs, I was actually able to encounter a little bit of nighttime PvP. So in this video, I want to go over some general tips for nighttime PvP. I'm going to go over why running nighttime is generally better in a lot of different ways. And I'm going to go over some of the equipment you want to think about and some of the things that you want to do to be more successful. And then we'll go over the clips from yesterday, and I'll do a little bit of talking over them, basically breaking them down for you guys to give you more information. So, all right. So first of all, I have here in this little square here, because my inventory is pretty full. I have the TK Fast MT helmet. And the reason that we're showcasing this is because what this can do is not only can it mount NVGs directly to it, but the real purpose we want is to take this TAC Heavy Trooper mask that has high ricochet chance and armor class 2, and we're going to want to be able to put it on there. Now, this is going to be your most budget helmet setup to be able to mount NVGs, because they can mount directly onto the Heavy Trooper mask, or you can even take the quad nogs and mount them on there. Now, what that does for you is it allows you to wear NVGs while at the same time getting facial protection from scavs. I'm going to include a clip real quick showing you why that's useful in the moonshine and stuff. So you kind of, it kind of has to be a certain price. And that's, wow, the helmet saved me. Wow, square in the eyes. See, I told you, buckshot scavs. But beyond that, most helmet setups like the Bastion here, even with the applique, cannot take night vision. Sorry, it can take night vision, but it won't protect you in the head eyes or the head jaws or the ears in any way. And if you have a helmet like the Wendy, it can mount it, but you can't mount it and wear the face shield. So the TAC Heavy Trooper mask is one of the only ways to get facial, jaw, eyes protection while also using night vision. So that's something you're going to want to consider if you go against scavs a lot at night, or you have scav kill quests. It's very, very wise to try to use that mask, because as you saw in the clip, the shotgun scavs and stuff, they have a small chance to instantly tap you, and then there goes your 200,000 to 50,000, night vision down the drain. Now, beyond that, what we also want to do is we always want to have some sort of flashlight on our gun. So how nighttime PvP works is generally night vision is for being stealthy, and then flashlights are for fighting. Because once you have the flashlight shined in your face and you're wearing night vision, the bloom effect from the light, it's very, very disorienting to the point of being almost impossible to shoot the person accurately. It fills your entire screen up with white. So what we want to do is we want to use the night vision to locate and stay undercover and covert as we move around. And then as soon as we locate the enemy, we're going to want to start attacking them. And right before we get down to the meat of the attack, we're going to want to take our night vision off and turn the flashlight on. Hopefully they'll still be wearing their night vision, and then that gives you an advantage. But you're always going to want some sort of flashlight capable tactical device on your weapon, even if you have night vision. Another reason being that if they have a flashlight and you only have night vision, you have no counter to their flashlight, right? So makes sense. Now, beyond that, I would also recommend always running a silencer at night so that you can avoid people sneaking up on you, because that's kind of how PvP goes. And at nighttime, PvP generally, it's not as common. And in my opinion, daytime raids are for killing, and nighttime raids are for questing and looting. Now, a long time ago, Nikita said that there's better loot spawns on night raids than daytime raids. I don't know how true that is, but I do notice that I find a lot of higher tier items at night. Now, there's a couple of reasons why that could be. There's usually less people running night, so there's less competition to get to the loot. And I think that's really the main reason, because you'll go to a hot spot later into the raid than in a day raid, and no one has looted yet because of the lower amount of players. So that's a big factor, but scavs also have worse sightlines at night, and you can typically avoid them easier. There's less players overall, so you can get your tasks done or what have you way more safe. And overall, they're just better if you just want to survive and you don't really want to get into the PvP aspect of stuff. And long range scopes don't actually work very well at long range. and neither do a lot of sites like the holographics and stuff. So if you go on a nighttime raid, you're gonna really want to try to use some specific scopes. I recommend scopes like these. Any scope with a red dot setting is a good scope to use because it doesn't get all blurred out by the effects of the night vision. So these, this one, these are three of the scopes I'd recommend. You can also use like the Tricon RMR and stuff like that. Anything with a small red dot typically doesn't get affected by the night vision, but make sure to test out whatever you use and remember it because some of them, they look really, really blurry, like the EXPS 0. But beyond that, a lot of long range scopes don't have a great sight picture, and because it's nighttime, it's foggier and darker, so it's harder to snipe. So the only really long range threat that you got to worry about in night raids is people with thermals. And as a general rule of thumb, whenever I start getting engaged from a long, long way away, based on the sounds of the gun firing or the shots or whatever, if I can tell that it's far away, then I try to disengage as fast as possible using cover to kind of block sight lines because it's probably someone with a thermal. Otherwise, he'd be engaging you at short range. And real quickly, this is also a good one. There's some longer range scopes that do have good sight pictures. This is one of them. And the hammer sight is also okay. But once again, at nighttime, there's generally a heavy layer of fog and it makes it hard to go long range. So anyway. Now, as far as night vision go, I already stated this in my Woods loot guide, but in case you didn't see that, I like these. They have the best sight picture and a very clear image, at least for me. But the problem is you can't run them on any helmets. You have to run them with this head mask. That's an obvious downside because of what we said before. And then besides that, these, but they're pretty expensive at 1,400 rubles for Peacekeeper. There's some barters for them too. But most of the time, if you're trying to just do loot runs at night and stuff, you can just play safe, make some cash, and it's pretty easy to break even on even a 200k set of night vision if you were able to survive a couple raids in a row. So well worth the money because these have the greatest field of view and the clearest picture. And in my opinion, they're affected the least by light and stuff. So well worth the money. Just make sure to play carefully until you break even on the investment, I suppose. But all right, so that pretty much covers everything about preparing for a night raid. Gonna go ahead and show some of the clips from yesterday now and talk over a little bit about how I went about fighting the fights. All right, so right here, I was trying to push over from UN roadblock spawn to military camp, and it's the first few moments of the raid. So what I mentioned before about night visions for stealth and flashlights are for PvP. So notice that I hear the guy, and then I start conducting very, very stealth, as well, I stay as stealth as possible is what I mean. And by doing that, I'm able to pinpoint his location and then I go for the kill. However, since he wasn't within close range of me, I just basically don't need a flashlight in this case unless we were to enter CQB. Important. Good night, Timmy. Yeah, he spawned RUAF. Give me that dog tag, boy. You ain't no fucking Timmy. What are you doing? You found it. All right, now in this second clip, what I was doing is I was coming from the typical scav bunker to bridge car extract loot run, and I come across this guy that was crouched by this little building here, and I thought at first it might have been a scav, but when I started to shoot him, I heard the PMC voice line for being injured. They have different voice lines than scavs do, so you can tell if it's a PMC or not if you listen closely to the voice line. So as soon as I heard that, I started taking the fight way more seriously, and let's see how I went about that. So now the PvP has started, and even though we're fighting what I now know to be a PMC, I'm not going to turn on my flashlight, take off my night vision right away because he doesn't have his flashlight on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the stealth that night vision affords me to reposition and to get an accurate location of his location, an accurate idea of his location, and then once I go in for the kill, I'm going to switch the flashlight to possibly blind him because he is wearing NVGs and to make sure that I don't get countered by a flashlight. What were you doing over here?
Just ratting?
Okay, guys, so in this next clip, I was looting USEC camp when I heard enemy footsteps. Now, notice what I do in the beginning. What I try to do is I try to maintain my stealth. I try to get myself in a position where I can get an instant kill shot on the enemy. And then I also make sure to try to drop my backpack, ideally early on, so that you can manage to do it without making too much noise when they're more able to hear you. And then notice when I turn on my flashlight and when I use my NVGs and stuff. You want to have your NVGs off and your flashlight on when you go to push, and then when you need to reposition, try to put your NVGs back on and turn your flashlight off so that the big old beam doesn't give you away. But thank you for watching, guys. Hopefully you learned some tips from this, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them. Okay, guys, enjoy.
He just hit the fucking mines. GG's. Couldn't be a hard body to get. I didn't know there was two of them. I didn't hear that audio at all. There probably, maybe there's more even. Yeah, his legs. Ooh. Did I just hear someone else too, bro? This shit is getting so fucking sweaty. But hey, I'm getting those nighttime PvP clips I was hoping for to be able to do a video. So this is going to be challenging. I'm probably going to blow up right here. Couple Timmies. There's another person here.
trying to find fucking shit here, huh?
Hey, we don't need to fight if you really wanna. Oh well, you wanted to fight then, so now you're dead. I was happy to just leave with my loot. This is annoying me a little bit. Trying to get out of here. Sheesh.